Good evening, Broncos country, and welcome to another episode of Couch Potato Sports Denver Broncos podcast. How's everyone doing tonight? Jimmy, how are you?
Oh, I'm fantastic. Apparently, I missed the call on the I don't know if I'm pointing the right way, um, on the username tag there, but we're doing good. Jimmy the Loop here,
Good,
aka
good.
James.
And then we have a new hopeful host with us. I am Kenny from TikTok. How you doing, man?
What's good, man? Kenneth. But yeah, it's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Kenneth.
Guys.
Yes, I apologize.
No,
learn
we're good.
how to read.
When I was younger,
reading.
When I was younger, I went by Kenny, and then when I was 18, I just made the hard switch to Kenneth. But you're good.
There you go.
No worries.
Gotta respect it, man.
Like, you know what? I'm dropping the Y, adding the TH. Let's go.
Exactly. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me, guys. Good, man. Good. I'm still kind of riding that Nuggets high, but happy to talk.
Let's
talk
go.
about some Broncos today, man. Talk about some Broncos
I don't know
country.
if you. I can't really see that over there.
I mean, Nuggets are definitely worth talking about for sure.
Let's
and
go.
It's nice to ride in that Nuggets championship. Just like last year, we rode in the Avalanche championship into the
Hell yeah.
Now we have the beloved Nuggets coasting us through into that Broncos season. Hopefully, I know there was a lot of hype last year with the Broncos. Hopefully this year is a better watch for us, per se. Oh, there goes James. There you go.
In the middle. Now he's in the middle. Let's
Whoa.
go.
Whoa.
We're working through the kinks, guys. We're still trying to figure this out, but
I like it.
Well, like I was saying, now that the Nuggets season's over, the Rockies are still playing, but are they still playing? Question mark. That's the real question. So,
who cares?
Still love the Rockies, but yes, who cares? You know, whatever. It is what it is. There is some hope with the young star in Nolan Jones, but you know how far hope goes with the Rockies. So we get these hopeful prospects, they turn into superstars, and then they get shipped off to the Yankees, or they get shipped off to the Cardinals.
Or the Red Sox.
That's the life, man.
We're usually a farm team for the MLB. I like to joke. We're the minor league team of the MLB, but
literally.
All right. Enough shitting on the Rockies.
There's always time for that.
Yeah. So now we're coasting in. We came from here, from the Denver Nuggets, winning that glorious championship. I still can't believe it that they did that. I still find myself just, is this real life?
Honestly,
that parade was an absolute blast, man.
You went.
Yeah, me and my brother-in-law went.
Yeah.
It was a great time. For some reason, there was a lot of stoppages of the fire trucks moving throughout the entire parade. So right at the beginning, there was like a 15-minute stop, and MPJ and Bruce Brown and several other players got off their fire trucks and just went like sprinting down the road. It was a blast though, man. It was a great time.
Because you don't really see that. You don't really see that in parades, like the players getting in it with the fans and stuff like that. I thought that was like Denver style,
man, Ish Smith walked basically right up to me and my brother-in-law. It was cool, man.
That's crazy. I love it.
But man, what an honor! 3 parades in 8 years?
I know, right?
What an honor, man.
We're lucky for sure. Yeah.
That reminds me of when they were running around at this parade last year with Bowen Byram. He was running up and down.
Yeah.
Around as well, but he actually got stopped by the police because the police officer thought he was a fan.
Oh, that was so funny.
No, I played for the team. I played for the team. And the cop was like, "Oh, okay, sorry, man."
He's like, trust me. Yeah, I know I look like a fan, but I'm on the team.
Yeah. You're not mistaking Jeff Green and DeAndre Jordan for a fan.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. There's a big difference between NBA and NHL.
Right.
You can definitely tell.
Well, plus, isn't he like 19 as well? So he looks like just some high school kid, you know.
19 or 20 or something.
I didn't even think. Yeah, I didn't even know Ish or CB could drink. That's what I was worried about. I was like, what do you guys say? Be careful out there,
I know Christian Brown was going ham out there.
He was getting wild. He was getting wild, man.
Yeah.
And from our perspective where we were standing, it looked like he was just standing talking to some people in the crowd. And then he just took off into a dead sprint. Turns out he was talking to a reporter, and he did take off into a dead sprint to give people high fives and stuff. But from our perspective, it looked like something was going down.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
He's the best.
Yeah, that kid
almost
is
got
what is he?
we almost got ran over by a lady on a scooter going down the sidewalk.
Denver knows how to celebrate, and that's
downtown Denver.
Exactly. 16th Street
true.
on a parade. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, that kid is a champion. Didn't he win a high school state championship? And then he played for KU.
3 in a row, I believe.
Won the championship, and then his rookie year, he wins the NBA Finals.
Man,
that's awesome, and I'm looking forward to watching him win 2 or 3 more. If you know
Honestly.
what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Seeing this his rookie year, like who knows what he can blossom into? You know, like a future number 2. That's crazy. That's crazy.
He's gonna be a stud.
Yeah,
he's going to be an absolute stud. I mean, he already is, but
him being so fearless in the NBA Finals as a rookie, making those steals and playing with that high energy, it was impressive to watch, and I'm definitely excited to see that kid just blossom into something great. So.
The great part about it too is the one missing piece. I wouldn't say missing piece, but the one spot we don't have shored up in our starting lineup for the foreseeable future is the shooting guard, the number 2 position. And Christian Brown, I think, is going to blossom in perfectly into that spot. And I think I'm hoping by mid next season he blossoms into a starter role and really just, takes off from there.
If he keeps going at everyone like he did Jimmy Buckets, I think he'll be there, brother. Like I think he'll be there for sure. Yeah.
There's a lot of hope in that kid for sure, and it's just exciting to see. And I don't know about you guys, but I like to listen to not only local, but I listen to national media too. I know they don't know as much about Denver as we do. Not until recently, they started all of a sudden following the Denver Nuggets because they won the championship. But
it took winning the championship to get talked about.
Yeah, all I've been hearing today is about the Phoenix Suns and how Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Ayton, and Kevin Durant are either they're like kind of flip-flop. They're either destined to be the next champs, or there's some people in the media that use their brains and say, hey, the big 3 here in Phoenix have the same quality of play. They all play the same way. And historically, that's been proven in the NBA to not work as well. You got to have, if you have a big 3, the example was Durant, Pierce, and Rondo.
Garnett, yeah.
What did I say?
Durant, KD,
yes. Garnett, excuse me. That was the example. That was the blueprint. They were totally 3 different players, 3 different playing types, but they were really good at what they did in their skill craft, and that's why they were successful.
Exactly.
And one of them was a big man, I think, is really important too.
Yeah. Right. I mean, Jokic has shown everyone in the league that he's not easy for him to be guarded. You need a big man to at least slow him down or try to slow him down. I mean, Anthony Davis couldn't do it.
No.
So
if you don't have a big man that can do, several things well, you need a Dennis Rodman. You need a guy that just hogs underneath the basket, gets rebounds, and gets it back out to the guys that are going to put up numbers.
Yeah, I heard somebody say this week that every good championship team needs like an instigator. Someone like you're kind of like describing, like swing elbows underneath and kind of like getting people's faces. And I even kind of think like AG is that for us. Like he kind of gets the energy going, and when he's going good, that the Nuggets are playing like their best basketball for sure.
Definitely,
he's a bully defensively no matter what. And then what he showed in the conference championship as well as the finals is he's going to be a bully to get to the net as well offensively. He's going to go get his.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people saying, bring back Dwight Howard, bring back Dwight Howard. I'm like, yeah, he was good in the 2020 bubble, but Jokic was a different player back then.
Completely.
And
who was it that I saw that's a free agent? Vucevic from the Bulls?
Yeah, Vucevic.
I don't think he's not a guy that would be a backup center role. I mean, he's a starting center, so I don't think he would come here necessarily to be the backup. But you need a guy like him that is a true center, I guess, that can come in and be a true center with the twos, with the bench.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that. They almost wanted Thomas Bryant. You know, he's young as heck, and he got some minutes in the season to be that once we signed him. But I feel you, man. We need like a good backup to Yoke for sure. Kind of like I liked Plumlee personally. I don't know about you guys, but I
I
love
did
Mason.
too.
Yeah, I love Plumlee. Hey, I hear Cousins is still available, right?
Boogie. I think he's he's in China right now or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So the Nuggets, yes, we're coasting on that win right now. Every right to do so. It is amazing. If you don't live in Denver and if you haven't been a Nuggets fan your entire life, you know, even if you are a new Nuggets fan, it's still special. But, you know, I dig deep and I look back at that kid, that little Zach that was wearing the Melo jersey back in the day, hoping and praying that they could get past the Western Conference Finals and Kobe back in the day, and they just could not. And the little kid in me, the little Zach wearing that little Melo jersey, is ecstatic. He was jumping for joy that night when the Nuggets won. It's a great time in Denver, but we're coasting into the Broncos season. And Kenneth, I know that you haven't been on this pod before. We have another podcaster. His name's Anthony. He's actually been with me since we started this, really. He had some other things he had to tend to tonight, but I'm sure we'll get him back on here pretty soon. And when you come back on as well, you'll be able to talk with him. But he's usually, and me and Jimmy are usually the optimistic ones. Anthony is usually the realistic one.
Okay.
Oh, how the turntables.
Yeah.
I am the negative one.
Okay.
I am just right down the center.
Even keel, and Anthony's even keel as well. But for me, I'm taking a severely realistic approach this season because all I have to go off of is what happened last year.
Right.
I know we have Sean Payton, but the last 7 years have been absolutely brutal.
It's been tough,
and it's been emotionally draining for all of us Broncos fans. Every Sunday we get so excited. Broncos country is crazy about their football, man. Crazy. And everyone's getting up, drinking their superstitious cup of coffee out of their superstitious mug, walking the superstitious way to the bathroom, peeing with their left hand instead of their right, or if you're a female, sitting the opposite way on the toilet, whatever. I
sit down too, man. I sit down.
Hey, whatever you got to do.
Hey, whatever, man. Sitting down is cool.
I completely agree with you, man. But I think you guys would maybe agree that last year, for some reason, I don't know what it is. It might have been Nat Hackett. It might have just been his energy, his presence. But it felt like we reached like a new rock bottom. You know, for me personally as a fan, like obviously came home in a Broncos jumper. You know, my dad had me from day one. But for some reason, I just felt so detached from this team. I blame Coach Hackett and the energy he brought. Like, obviously the guy was a doofus, but I don't know. It just felt different. I don't know about how you guys felt about the whole season.
It was
completely agree.
The hype was strong, and the fact that we moved away from the extremism that Vic Fangio had with his practice, how he coached in practice, how he was very tough-nosed, old school. You know, wasn't really forgiving on players. You know, would be super confrontational with players a lot. With all the reports that came out after he had left. We moved away from that to the complete opposite of the spectrum. We're like, hey, maybe this will work out. You know, there's music during training camp now. Our head coach is breakdancing to Justin Timberlake, you know, and stuff like that. You know, the hype, we're having fun again. The players know how to have fun again.
So much energy.
Right. Yeah, Russell Wilson's in the building. Yeah.
Russell Wilson's in the building. Sierra's in the building. You know, like, there was so much hype and noise around this team last year that it was hard to not get excited. It really was. I found myself just like talking to myself as a fan, just saying, is this hype worth it? You know, is it real? Of course it's real. It's Russell Wilson. You know, he has shown nothing but reason for us to be excited with this football team.
Right.
Except for the last year, but he was injured, and that was the first time he's injured, and he still put up 20-plus touchdown passes that year. So
I think they were talking, even early in that season, he was like a MVP rumored candidate, whatever. Yeah. I completely agree. And maybe, you bring up a good point, Zach. I think that's maybe why it hurt so much is because of like the sense or the season of change, and that it was like a new page turning. There was a new aura, a new chemistry in the building, and it fell so hard on its freaking face. So maybe that's why it hurt so much. I honestly had to take I kind of stepped away from the Broncos for a little bit. I'll be real with you. Like, I was watching, but just not with the same, I guess, heart. You know what I mean?
Same passion.
I
feel you, man, dude. We were in that same boat. I mean, I speak for myself, but I think Zach was completely in the same boat as well. Of course, we're watching the game, but you're kind of watching like, all right, what's next? What's going to happen next? And real quick, actually, quick shout out, my guy Alex. What's good?
What's up, Alex? How you doing, man?
Let's go.
Welcome to the show.
Let's go.
But, yeah, Kenneth, me and Jimmy actually went to the Colts Broncos Thursday night. Was that a Thursday night game?
Oh
right?
my God, guys!
And,
my God!
I actually scored some good tickets because I was going to school at the time, and someone in my class was like, "Hey, I have season tickets. They're this seat. They were incredible seats. They were great seats. They were
beautiful
awesome.
seats.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to be able to go and see Russell Wilson and all that stuff finally. And that game sucked.
That was the worst.
Terrible.
That was the worst,
man. That sucked the life out of my what life was left in the season. Dude, that walk back, the car ride home, that was the most depressing thing in the world. We tried to kind of make a little bit of small talk. It was going nowhere.
Well, and it wasn't anything against you, Jimmy.
Right.
We were listening to Craigman, because Craigman goes on the Altitude Sports Radio and he has his after game reactions and stuff like that. Man, Broncos country was pissed, and I was feeling every bit of that emotion too. I was just like, how in the hell did you not see KJ Hamler open in the back of the end zone? Who were you throwing it to? What in the hell is going on? It's just all these questions going on in my head. So, I know that
it was like first-hand embarrassment, second-hand embarrassment. I remember I'm wearing a Tim Tebow jersey. It's kind of like one of the only clean ones I got right now. But I remember I watched Tim Tebow during the magical season or whatever, right? We went to that Chiefs game, and I think the final score was 7-6, and we lost. And the Raiders ended up losing that week, right? Yeah, and it's just awful game. It was cold as hell and whatnot, and the Raiders ended up losing, so we backdoored, I think, into the playoffs. But similar feelings, right? Just complete agony, complete despair. Just don't even really know any answers, and there's no hope either, which was the worst part last season. Last season is it was not going to get better under any circumstance at all. Even when we got rid of Hack Job, it was the worst.
Yeah, dude, the dagger in our back of that Colts game, I think, in my opinion, was finding out about all the fans walking out. We had such good seats, we had no idea.
Oh wow,
absolutely no clue. I mean, we had could see some people leaving. Kind of expected to Thursday night. It's late. That's kind of what we were talking about. Oh, there's no way fans were leaving. And then to see the video, it's oh my God, that is just so embarrassing as a Broncos fan.
It was rough, and that was like you said, Kenneth. That was the absolute rock bottom, worst feeling I've ever had as a Broncos fan in my entire life. And I was thinking, and this was kind of brought up in something I was listening to. I think it was you listened to Cody Rourke?
I don't know.
So he's a big Twitter influencer, but he runs the Locked In Broncos podcast here in Denver.
Okay.
And he's in with Mile High Sports. He's a writer for them. He's a really good dude, all that stuff. So I listen to his podcast a lot, and he brought up something that was just absolutely skull crushing. If it wasn't for Peyton Manning, how long would we have been in this misery for?
I mean,
5 years.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. And speaking for personal, if it's aging me, it would be my entire life. I was 3 and 4 years old when we won the back-to-back. So, You know,
I mean, assuming
outside of
everything
the
remained constant, but
Yeah.
you know, we didn't end up drafting somebody along the way, but
exactly.
that was just like an eye opener. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, Peyton
It's true.
Manning, I freaking love you, man. Thank you.
well, it would really be since I mean, Jake Plummer AFC
Yeah.
Yeah.
Championship.
Oh, and that one hurt too, man.
That would probably be the last like really high that we had outside of the Tim Tebow year.
Exactly. Exactly.
And was that really a high? I mean, that was really just like so you're so nervous that like you feel good at the end of it, I guess.
Yeah.
Exactly. It was better than what we expected. Yeah, it was like best case scenario type. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That 4-year stretch with Peyton Manning was absolutely beautiful. Even though we got stomped by the Seahawks that one year, which was I want to throw up thinking about watching that. Those were fun years, and I think it really put us on this pedestal. And then going into this last 7 years was we're right back down there. We have Sean Payton now. Enough of the negatives. We have Sean Payton now.
I have a quick question I want to ask you before we get into that.
Okay, go ahead.
If you could change one thing about the Peyton Manning run, would it be that Seahawks Super Bowl, or would you cut Raheem the Dream Moore before the season?
Just saying that name, man. Oh my god.
And wasn't, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't Von Miller out that year too?
I think he was hurt, right?
Yeah, I think he got hurt just before the playoffs, actually.
Wasn't he ACL or something? Was that the ACL tear year?
Yeah.
Or Chris Harris was out that game too, wasn't he?
I think so.
Yeah, there were several players out.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why the ball floated.
Not an excuse, you know, blah, blah, blah. If there's Seahawks fans watching, don't take it as an excuse. But there was just a lot of things that happened leading up to that Super Bowl that was pretty devastating. And, you know, going into that Super Bowl, I was still feeling pretty confident. And,
from the opening snap, you knew it was not going to,
Even leading up to it, the whole hotel situation and changing hotels and being on like a boat and
weird.
Yeah. Well, here's a question for you guys. You brought up that question, Jimmy. What is one thing you would change in the last 7 years that probably would have catapulted us into a
one thing
that could have potentially changed everything?
Joshua Allen.
See, I know.
He's always my
There's so many variables. There's so many variables.
It's a butterfly.
I agree, though.
I would be devil's advocate in saying we might have not developed Joshua Allen the way
you're right. Yeah.
Brian Dabble and Sean McDermott did. So
I don't think we would have been patient enough.
Right.
Yeah, Dable is the reason Josh is so good. You're 1,000%.
As fans, we'll like think back to his going into his third year, how bad he was his second year. Like, as fans, would we have even let him get through that third year?
Right.
You know, because that third year he really started to show what he can do, and I think they snuck their way into the playoffs that year, possibly. But
that's true. Yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm.
But as Broncos fans, just think of our fan base. Would we have even let that dude stay out on the field that third year?
Drew Lock effect kind of thing, you know. Yeah, that's true. No, that's a perfectly good point. We probably would have ruined Josh Allen. Yeah.
But I agree with you. I would definitely go back and take Josh Allen over Bradley Chubb.
Yeah. Well, I remember watching that draft, and when we drafted Bradley Chubb, I watched at the Copper Rail in Brighton, Colorado, and I was sitting there, and when we drafted Bradley Chubb, the whole place erupted.
Yeah, yeah. I remember Vaughn's reaction. Even Vaughn was so excited.
He was, And I mean, if he had a really good rookie year, and then he got hurt, so
I think maybe that I can't think of obviously not hiring Nate, but I don't know if that would have changed too much just for last year's
you know what?
sake.
You know what might have actually changed everything outside of Josh Allen potentially developing here? Bringing in Kyle Shanahan.
Ooh, I love it.
Yeah. I mean
that broken relationship with Mike is the entire reason why we didn't hire him. Like 100% hands down.
Joe Ellis didn't want it.
And just having Kyle Shanahan here, I mean, that could in itself change. I mean, I think it would change our entire trajectory.
He would have used anything that we would have had to make. Yeah, he would have done his thing, done this Shanahanian thing, and yeah, absolutely.
But again, would we be patient enough to keep him around through those beginning years?
Maybe if he was a Shanahan, maybe
Shanahan we would. Shanahan we would.
Yeah.
Because Mike would have been upstairs just like in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah. That's the only variable I'd say is that because of the Shanahan name, we might have been a little bit more patient with Kyle. Because
John Elway would have had to step away from his job in order for that to happen, because John Lynch would have had to come in, and so many variables to that too.
Right.
They should have just came home. Yeah.
Yeah, it would have. It's fun to think about, but
right.
Unfortunately, none of that happened, and this is where we stand right now. I like our head coach.
Yeah.
I like what we have now, Sean Payton.
Somewhere in the multiverse.
If there's anybody that can fix this team, it's Sean Payton. Let's be honest. Sean Payton's up there in the caliber of Andy Reid's, the Bill Belichick's, stuff like that. It's like an all-time coach. As far as like IQ and putting a football team together to win meaningful games, including a Super Bowl. So I'm confident when I say that if Sean Payton can't fix this team, I don't know what.
Rebuild, blow it up, blow everything up. If he can't, if Coach P can't be the savior, then that's it.
But I don't want to think that way.
No.
I'm confident. I'm also confident in saying that if anybody can do it, it's Sean Payton.
Mm-hmm.
He's already taken control of the team. He's establishing the culture that he wants. He doesn't like all the noise around his football teams. He's kept it pretty hush-hush. Even the media, listen to him, they're just like, we have no idea what's going on because
they don't know what to talk about.
Right, because Sean Payton is just like, yeah, this is what's happening. Many questions, pretty much, He's kind of just giving them a little bit to run with, and that's that, And
he's giving a Bill Belichick with emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, exactly.
Coach Payton's a little bit way more charming actually than Coach P. But yeah, he's like giving the media just enough to write their articles and then get out, which is perfect, right? That's like kind of exactly what we need this offseason. Is just like business first, professionals first, develop our guys. Let's get to business. Come on now.
Right.
So
this leads me into this. Training camp is right around the corner. It starts end of July, correct, or mid-July? Mid to end of July?
Yeah.
Ish. I
think last time we were on, they didn't have any dates set yet.
Yeah.
I'll look it up.
I know this is a pretty broad question, but what do you guys want to see out of this training camp? And it seems like there's always – last year there was the hype when the Broncos scrimmaged the Cowboys and absolutely destroyed them. There was the hype there. There just seemed to be a lot of hype coming out of training camp last year.
mm-hmm.
The only thing that was weird about the training camp last year is there was a huge controversy between Nathaniel Hackett and allowing the players to not wear pads, or Nathaniel Hackett not playing his players in the preseason, which, Kenneth, I will admit this, you weren't here. I was for that at the time. I am 100% against it now. So
okay, cool.
I'm switching my views. Yes,
my guy retracted.
Jimmy was all about it. So
I was on the
players playing in the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I'll give it
in the capacity.
So was Anthony. Anthony was all about it too. So I was the dummy around here, but
no.
I just had so much faith in Nathaniel Hackett and the culture he was bringing. That I was like, hey, let's just trust the process. See what happens, and we saw what happened. So, what do you guys want to see? Do you want them to roll in pads every day? Do you want them to focus more on, I don't know, like, what do you want it, specifically the offense? Because the defense isn't really the problem.
Right.
Defense, like, since before the Super Bowl was never an issue.
And in a lot of ways, the defense, you could argue, got better over the offseason.
Yeah, exactly. And
I mean, it's something that I mentioned in the last time me and you were on, Zach. I think Anthony was on with us as well when we talked about it. We've already seen it. We've seen the 7-on-7s already. We've seen the pads, and just the OTAs and the rookie camps and everything. I just want to see, 1, competition, and 2, energy. from all around. But also just seeing your basic everyday, every other team does it training camp. I don't want to see this variation of, I do it this way because I'm a first-time head coach and I'm experimental. I just want to see a training camp. Just go do what you're supposed to do.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah.
Put that on a shirt. Do what you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Put that on a shirt. Uncommon, bro. That's the new.
Right.
I couldn't agree more, Jimmy. I think things that we already kind of touched on, like the antithesis of Coach Hackett. That's what I'm looking for. Like, not any hype stories. No, right? Like, sorry. Like, just like everything that he wasn't. It feels good, and I feel like that's what Coach Payton is. Like, everything that we address to Coach Payton, he kind of has like this smugness about him. He's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Listen to me. I've been here before. I know what I'm doing, and this is the way that we're gonna do it." So I kind of like that confidence, kind of like you said, a hunger to prove everybody wrong. After all, this is gonna be kind of like a revenge tour in a sense. Once we get up to that level, so kind of just like everything you touched on, Jimmy. I just want to get down to business, kind of, right?
Yeah. Exactly. I want, if I'm being honest with you guys, I want this training camp to be brutal.
Yeah.
I want not in the sense that I want Sean Payton running up and down the field yelling at people,
right?
Being like Vic Fangio. I want Sean Payton's going to get in people's asses. That's just who he is, but for good reason. He's not just going to yell to hear himself yell. But I want Sean Payton to run their dicks into the dirt. I want them to really, really dig down deep within themselves, embrace the suck that they're about to go through, and come together through that, because there is nothing better in building that cohesion than going through something that's absolutely so terrible, not like deadly or anything like that, but something that's just so soul crushing and tests you to your absolute limits, pushes you beyond those limits, then that is the ultimate way to build a brotherhood through that. Pull each other through, help each other out, get each other through the fourth quarter, get each other through those last 2 minutes together as a team. Simulate the crowd, the noise, everything going on when there's 13 seconds left on the clock and you're on in the red zone. And you're trying to figure out this play and make people be in the right positions at the right time.
Like that's what I yards away.
I want to see out of this training camp. I want to see them push beyond their limits. I want to see them pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed on a daily basis, whether that's with pads or not. I know Sean Payton has his process and he's methodical about the way he does it. But if you don't have pads on, you should still be pushing beyond your limits to, one, get conditioned for football. Because I don't know. I know you played football, and I don't know if you did, Kenneth, excuse me.
There you go.
But it takes a certain kind of conditioning to play that sport.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
And to be able to withstand and push through the tiredness that you feel towards the end of a football game. So, especially at that level, man. I don't know what it's like to play in the NFL, so I imagine it's a lot harder than high school.
And that's the thing, and that's hopefully what Sean Payton is adding, right, is his professionalism and his knowledge on every single one of those aspects. Because like you said, we're not NFL players, coaches, whatever. We're not on the staff yet, but we don't have the answers as far as what is right or wrong about pads. But I do trust Coach about what he thinks is right or wrong, and I think that might be a big difference about than last offseason too. I trust him. I really do. Thankfully, thank God.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think one thing we're going to see from Sean Payton, in which I of course, like you, Zach, did not play in the NFL. I did play in college, played in high school, middle school, basically every level outside of the NFL. And one thing that I believe Sean Payton will do, because he's done in his entire coaching career, is bring balance. With Hackett, we saw a lot of just high energy, positive energy. Let's take the day off. Let's not go in pads. Let's do walkthroughs. There was never a yell. There was never a get up your ass moment. And then with the pads too, I think what we're going to see is you're going to see some half shell where you're going to be going what I've always known as what's called thud, where it's live until the tackle.
Right.
If you're in the trenches, it's completely live. I think we're just going to see a lot of balance. You're going to see some walkthrough days. You're going to see some helmet days where it's not walkthrough, where you're going full, not necessarily full speed, but a 75%, but you're still getting after it.
Mm-hmm.
And we almost, in a certain way, in a certain sense, we can't almost underestimate how, I guess, like, still we're hitting the reset button 2 years in a row. You know what I mean? So I think it's reasonable for us to have like a certain expectation for this team, but at the same time, everything is brand new. Not only Coach P, but Coach Lombardi, basically, a good majority of the players. So I think, like you guys were saying, take it one step at a time. All the details will define the culture, and then we go from there, because that's how you build a team, just like both you guys said.
Yeah, what I like to see out of this team is 3 big things, and I think it's 3 big things that could lead to success.
Giggity.
Football IQ, discipline, because we were heavily penalized last year, durability, and all of those things can be achieved in the offseason. Hitting the books, hitting the film, develop that football IQ, and who better than Sean Payton to lead the way for you? Who better than, I know Russell Wilson is pretty football IQ smart. I know he has that. Discipline. Stop committing stupid penalties. Don't let people get under your skin and cause you to do something stupid. Just go about your business, line up for the next play, and absolutely dominate your opponent.
Durability. And I think those. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, durability. Focused on what you eat. Focus on how you lift and how you work out. Really, really hone in on yourself and make yourself the best version of you can. And I think with all of those 3 things lining up perfectly, I think we have a successful football team across the board. And that's something we haven't seen for the last 7 years. If we were lacking in discipline, but good in football IQ, but we're also lacking in durability. Or we're great in durability, but we're lacking in football IQ, and we're lacking in discipline. We've never had those 3 things lined up. That Super Bowl in 2015, we had all of those 3 things. With Peyton Manning, we had all of those 3 things. And that's why we were in a lot of meaningful football games and winning meaningful football games. And as much as I hate to compare the Broncos to these guys, but the Chiefs, they just have a good squad. They're a great football team. They have those 3 things. They have the discipline, they have the durability, and they have the football IQ. You look at the Bengals, they have the durability, they have the football IQ, and they have the discipline. The Buffalo Bills, all of these teams, that's who you should be. Look at the 49ers. That is a perfect example. They haven't had a quarterback in how long that can push him over the edge? I'm sorry Jimmy Garoppolo is not that guy. He helped get him there, but that's because the whole team is phenomenal, and they have those 3 things that I was talking about. So,
and I think the reason, like the 49ers, they haven't gotten over that hump with the Super Bowl is because the 3rd D is in durability is a little D right now. Where they need to get a big D out there in durability.
They have been lacking the durability, but when they are on the field and they're playing, they're a smart, disciplined football team, and they get a team for sure.
And the durability's been in just key spots. It hasn't been team wide. It's been very key spots of the football team. But like I said, it's just they got a little D out there right now. Make it a little bigger. Durability, very important.
Average D. Nothing wrong with average D.
Hey, you know what?
Perfect. Hey, if anything, that's what we can take from those teams, and we have to give the flowers when they're due. Like you said, Zach, with the Chiefs, man, they have the coach, they have the quarterback, and they have the team that believes in both of those guys. I think that this year, that formula is what we're going to plug in, and hopefully that'll lead to a lot more success. Got to believe in Coach P, and we got to believe in Russ. If not, then the whole team is out of whack too. Then the discipline falls, then everything else falls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more, man. It's just something, and that's what I want to see in training camp. I absolutely want to see them push to their limits in training camp. And like you said, Jimmy, the balanced approach with Sean Payton and what he brings. I want to see that, but I think this team, you can eventually get to balance, but I think this team needs to be pushed because they're so used to losing. And the only one that's not used to losing is Russell Wilson. But if we can push these guys and make themselves believe in themselves that they can win football games, because ever since Justin Simmons has been on this football team, we just haven't won anything.
Got worse every year, honestly.
Yeah, I got to do it for him.
Pat Surtain, these winners, these competitors, they're really learning to know what it's like to lose. So we just need to pull those spirits, and they're not the problems. Like Justin Simmons and Pat Surtain they're fine in my opinion. But really just hone in on their competitive selves, their winning selves, and help push this team to success again. And even Russell Wilson, like I'm sure last year really rattled Russell Wilson's mentality. As much as he says he didn't, and he has this positive outlook, I'm sure he was rattled.
Yeah,
I think it completely broke him. I mean, he became. I mean, he's always been sort of robotic in his approach to media and everything, but I think he really just kind of shelled up and became like ultra robot last year. I think it really broke him emotionally, mentally. I mean, all across the board.
Definitely autopilot off and on the field for sure.
Well, he was contacting Sean Payton well before he was even coming here. He was saying, "Please come coach the Broncos. Please help us out.
Please come save me."
Yeah, pretty much. So he was a broken man. So, but Sean Payton's like, "We're gonna do stuff my way. If you want this to happen, we're gonna do stuff my way." So
seems like Russell Wilson's completely bought into so far.
Yeah, I hope so.
He needs to understand that he needs to, in order for us to change things, at least for us to just start at the very beginning, just to change stuff. He needs to listen to Coach P for sure. Yeah,
I feel like they had that dynamic out in Seattle with Pete Carroll, where it was, you listen to me, this is what we do. I think that was a lot of the reason as well why he wanted out. And I think he's realizing, I have to be a player, he has to be a coach.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just do my job. He'll do his. Yeah.
Even Pat Mahomes needs a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Even Peyton Manning needed a coach.
You can't think about every dynamic of the game and call plays and XYZ.
Yeah. Tom Brady, he needed a coach.
Yep.
With Bill Belichick. Like as much as people want to say Tom Brady is the reason New England won so much, it was a joint effort. Him and Bill Belichick were two peas in a pod, and they developed these game plans, and they were able to go out there and win all the time. Just win. That's all they did. So
couldn't have one without the other, I don't think.
No way.
No,
I don't think so either.
Not at all. I mean, even with how amazing Pat Mahomes is, without Andy Reid, would he be the same?
No, I don't think so at all.
No. He was very impressive in college, but didn't win a lot.
No.
Right. Andy Reid pushed him over that ledge.
You need the coach as well as the team. Texas Tech.
Right. It's a team sport. It's it's not like basketball where you just need a Jokic.
Hey, come on now.
No, Murray. I'm just joking.
Don't be pushing that agenda.
Yeah.
Shout out Coach Malone. Shout out Moach.
I know. Yeah.
New tats.
Very, very much so. Wouldn't have won without Malone. Even MPJ and the way he contributed all year, Murray, all that stuff. That was just
top to bottom.
Yeah.
So. Even throwing in the Nuggets reference, like the big thing with Jokic, right, is like he makes every single player on the team better naturally, right? That's like the one thing that you can ask for a team captain, someone on your team. I think
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning. I think Russell Wilson. Yeah, Gabe, exactly. All of these players are like cornerstone, big time players. I don't know if it's Russ, to be honest with you guys. I kind of see more like PS2, kind of as like that figure in the locker room, or Jay Sims. Yeah, exactly. But if you if the guys want to play with you, then the product on the field is going to be good too. So hopefully some of that Jokic magic can leak in.
Yeah, I think Russ can be that guy still, man. I just have such a hard time believing he just hit such a hard wall.
I agree completely.
You know, but all we know is what we saw.
Yeah, exactly, and which was awful. It was hard to watch. Yeah, exactly.
Trying to keep that even keel going here. You know, I'm gonna bring you up a little bit, but I'm also gonna bring you back down.
Well, I mean, but just like everything we talked about tonight, like everything hopefully adds a little bit of like positivity on the radar, you know. So I think no matter what we can do, we have to skew positive going into the season. We have to. It can't get worse, you know.
Well, Zach's the litmus test here. Zach, where are you at?
No, I'm still thinking they're 2-8 after 11 weeks.
3-7. You got him at 3-7. Give yourself a little credit here, buddy.
Because of the strength of the schedule. That's why. Because of the strength of the schedule.
The schedule. You know what? Before I say what me and Anthony had, should we run through these first 10 games, 11 weeks, and see what Ken's got?
Yeah, let's see.
I got it pulled up.
Sorry,
definitely.
I'm sorry.
I haven't done this yet. I know it's like obviously the thing to do.
The best way to do it.
Right, record prediction, all this stuff. So let's run through. All right,
we'll do it many more times. Yeah,
exactly, and it'll change. Like we don't even have a final roster and whatnot.
Do you want me to tell you what our picks?
No.
As we go week to week, or just go all the way through and then we'll tell you.
You can tell me maybe week to week after I tell you guys.
Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, we'll just run. You just run through it first.
Like, all right. So obviously September 10th, man, I can't wait. Like that's a big time game for us.
Let's go.
In every single sense. Josh McDaniels, the Raiders at home, the streak. Like, pick a storyline. It's crazy. So I honestly think, like, I'm not too big on week one, overreactions, but I definitely think that this will steer us in the right direction. It'll basically put us down the path of where the entire season is going to go. I think that's a dub. All day long. I think we kind of beat them embarrassingly as well. I think we put on a show. Honestly. All right, moving on. All right, Manders week 2. I think that's another win. Okay, I really do. I don't see much in Washington. I love my guy Sammy, but he's fresh as hell behind center. And it's in Denver too, so that's nice. At Miami, much more skeptical. I'm a big Mike McDaniel fan. Like I'd probably say Mike is one like top 3 coach for me in the league. So I don't know if we sneak that one out. All right. So 2-1 there. At Chicago, having to go to Soldier. Let's see here. I'm trying to think of the team dynamics and the matchups. I think we have an edge over the Bears. I really do. Love Justin Fields to death, but he's still figuring it out. Doesn't have the most weapons in the world with our defense, so I think that's a win. 3-1. I guess maybe I'm an optimist. God. All right. Next,
we'll see. Keep going.
This is the stretch right here. We got New York. We got A-Rod coming into Denver the next week. Let's see. God, I don't even have a good call. I don't have a good click on the Jets at all. Obviously, it's A-Rod dependent. I'm going to be optimistic again. I think PS2 is better than Sauce. So I'm going to give us that win too. I say that we kind of probably in a national sense upset the Jets in that one. So what is that? 4-1? 4-1?
Yes, 4-1.
4-1. All right. Going to Arrowhead the next week. That's Thursday night on a short week. I don't care how good we're doing. I don't know if we sneak out with a win in that one, no matter what.
Respectable.
Right. All right. Green Bay coming the next week. Got 10 days of rest. That's beautiful. That's a win. Jordan Love doesn't scare me in the slightest at all. So what are we at? Let's see here. That's 6-2. Is it?
Yep.
6-2. All right, and then we got the KC 5-2. The KC thing 2 and 3 weeks is brutal. That's crazy, man. But at least we do get it over with in the middle of the season. I think we get them back at home. Absolutely. All revenge game, everything's running high, tempers, emotions, everything. I think we get KC at home. Matchups aside, we can talk about the semantics later. Beautiful bye week in the middle of the season. Then you got to go up north. I'm kind of in the sense, I know that there's it's a little bit polarizing. I'm more of in the sense that Buffalo might not be it this season. They kind of had their best case scenario last year, even with the run game going good and their defense looking. I know Vaughn got hurt and whatnot, so that might be an X factor. But I don't think they're going to be as good as everyone thinks they are. But we don't win that game either. I'm sorry. I don't. It's too treacherous in Buffalo. It's way too treacherous in Buffalo.
Take that knife out, man. You just brought me all the way up like that.
I don't know where I was going with that, but I was like, realistically,
you're good.
Do I think we can win at night in Buffalo?
I completely agree with you.
Right, Monday night.
Everything you said.
It'll be a battle. Definitely, I think it'll be a battle in Buffalo. But
because Diggs is gone, but we'll talk about that later.
Oh, bro, we do have to talk. 7-3. Yeah. I think that's like a really optimistic, just off the cuff. It's literally the first time I've
done more.
This, so, one more.
One more.
Kirk. Let's see. In Denver.
Kirk,
yeah.
Look at that time. Look at that time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, buddy.
Prime time game. Oh, we're gonna kill Kirk under the lights. Dalvin's gone. That's it, bro. That's it. 8-3. That's beautiful.
8-3.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right.
7-3.
7-3. Right. Yeah, 7-3.
I hope you're right.
All right. Now let's run back through it real quick.
Let's go. Real
quick. Raiders, we all got dubs.
Okay.
Commanders, all dubs.
Okay.
Week 3, Miami Dolphins, we've all got L's. We're all feeling the same way.
Feel that.
Week 4 is where we kind of go back 3 of us have wins. Mm-hmm. Zach is the one with an L right here. Okay. Me personally, I put a question mark next to this game against Chicago. Because if I don't necessarily like where I'm at the end of the season, I might flip that to an L.
Okay.
But I got a dub.
Okay.
Yeah, the reasoning for the Bears is because it's back-to-back road games for me.
Oh, yeah.
And historically, the Broncos just historically the last 7 years, and that's what I'm going off of. Yeah. Because this is a whole new Broncos team. That all the Broncos, like for me personally, the Broncos of the past are the Broncos of the past. Yeah. This team has set a new standard of low for the Denver Broncos. That's what I'm going off of. It's almost been an entire decade of this. So
until proven otherwise.
I'm going off a recency bias.
Exactly.
Back-to-back road games. Even when we had Peyton Manning, going on the road, playing those 11 o'clock games have always been brutal for us. So that's why I think it's an L. So
everything that Zach just said is what me and Anthony said for week 5 with the Jets. And, of course, Zach continues the same sentiment for week 5 as well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So the three of us have losses. Like I said, I don't think any one of us had a legit reason. Like Aaron Rodgers or the defense, whatever. I think it was all of us were just like, prove us wrong.
Yeah. No, honestly, that's a daunting task. Like you guys say, two road games and then having to stare down Aaron Rodgers' barrel after that. That's tough.
And then we got the short week, Kansas City, 4 L's across the board. We're all in agreement there. And then week 7 is me and Zach are feeling the same way. Prove us wrong. We're both in the loss compartment. Now I agree with you. Jordan Love does not scare me at all. He's the true X factor. Yeah. But prove us wrong,
Yeah, I feel 1,000. What have you done for me lately? Exactly.
The Broncos always have those games where it's like the WTF.
What the hell was that?
What was that? Why did we lose that game?
Yeah, or someone we were supposed to kill and we win like on a last-second field goal on like a Matt Prater or a B-Mac field goal. We're like, what just happened? Yeah, exactly.
Right. So you and Anthony both had wins on that one. Brings us to week 8, Kansas City. Zach is just a Debbie Downer here.
That's okay.
He's got the lone L. Me, Anthony, Casey. And you all feel it. We're getting the dub this year.
I hope so.
KC though.
Yeah.
KC though.
Yeah, I know. We get it. Yeah, we get it.
We always play him tough. We play him close.
Yes, exactly.
We can't make a mistake. That's where the discipline comes in. Every time, granted, we don't have Melvin Gordon anymore, but every time we make that
he's going to win one of the games for them. Watch.
I know, right?
You got to give a trigger warning, bro. You can't just say his name like that.
Yeah, you can't just throw that name around.
I got like shivers.
He's with the Chiefs now, right?
I think he's still with them, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah.
He fumbles the football, and we retrieve it, and the game turns in our favor this time.
And we go take it for a touchdown and win.
Or our kick returner doesn't fumble the football, or a punt returner doesn't fumble the football, and give Pat Mahomes red zone advantage right off the bat.
Exactly.
That's what's killed us in the Kansas City games, guys.
Yeah.
Those are just – we play them so well, and then we just shoot ourselves in the foot
Which is crazy, yeah. No matter how good we are as a team, no matter what it is, KC weeks will always play them strong. You're right. I think it's the defense, honestly. I think it's the defense.
100%. All right, so that brings us – we got our bye week, week 9, as you said. Beautiful placement of that bye week.
Yeah.
Dead nut center of the season. Week 10, I agree with everything you said, Kenneth. I don't think the Bills are going to be as good, but we're going to Buffalo, even though it is after a bye. That's a tough game. We've all got L's on that one, all 4 of us.
Okay. Yeah.
But we've got primetime Kirk Cousins week 11, and we got 4 dubs on the board there. Let's go.
All because it's primetime. That's why.
But also, that team is not going to be nearly as good this year. That's different. That's another conversation. That's
yeah. No, I'm sorry. I kind of buy into like Kirk falling off every year. This is the year for Kirk. He has to fall off this year.
That brings me. So after 10 games, I'm at 5-5.
Okay.
Even kill, baby. Zach 3-7. Anthony is 6-4, and you're 7-3. So I mean, we're
we're
AT&T right now.
Am I the most optimistic one?
You are now the most optimistic. Here is your crown.
Officially.
Yeah.
I will take it off my head. Yeah. Here you go.
Positive king. Let's go. No, I love it. I like that we have a spectrum of I love that we're not all just biased homers. That's what I really try not to be.
Yeah. But
we'll see how the rest of this schedule goes.
I hope we go 10-0.
Honestly.
I mean,
me too. Hey, as soon as week 1 comes around, we're 17-0 till proven otherwise.
Exactly, undefeated, baby.
If we come out and destroy the Raiders, you best believe I'm going to switch my record to 9-1.
Yeah, we decided that after week 2, because we're going to go 2-0. After week 2, we're going to reevaluate this entire schedule because I want to see exactly where Zach's at.
I love it.
Be dub.
Because it's usually week 4 when we fall off.
Oh my God. We're feeling so good with the first or the third week. We're feeling so good, and then it's hell. It's literally
we were 3-0 last 2 years ago. Remember that?
Yep.
I mean, a few times twice over the last 7 years.
Yeah, we go up 3-0.
We're 4-0 at one point, weren't we?
They have us in the power rankings, top 5 team in the NFL. Like, holy shit, the Broncos are back.
My God.
Nope.
I'm laying down trash talk videos on every fan base.
Oh, speaking of which, Kenneth, you mentioned you had a story. Did you want to share that story?
Ooh.
Did I mention I had a story?
Oh, you texted me earlier. You said you wanted to share a story.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I meant I was gonna advertise for the pod through a story. I got plenty of stories though. No,
he's like story.
Yeah,
I can come up with one, but what you talking about?
I'm trying to think. No, that's so funny. That's so funny.
Well, anyways, training camp's right around the corner, boys. I am, regardless of how I'm feeling, I am still. This is the best time of the year, hands down. Hands down, best time of the year is.
So I actually think we've got a player campaigning to join the Broncos for this beautiful time of year.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen Chris Harris's new podcast? Chris Harris Jr., current free agent, called Let's Ride with Chris Harris Jr.
I love it.
Which he claims, now backstory real quick, he claims to have been saying Let's Ride for several years before Russell Wilson. So whether or not he's playing a joke here, I don't know. But there's a bunch of clips from an interview with, I would have some blogger, Patrick something, I'm sorry. But just really talking up Vance Joseph and Russell Wilson and this team dynamic. And it just really felt like he was like, hey, Sean Payton, what's up, man?
I don't know how I feel about that.
That's what I was going to ask. How would you feel about Chris Harris Jr. coming
Chris
back?
Harris Jr.
It would obviously be in a very limited role at this
Yeah.
point in his career.
I don't know.
Is it worth it? I mean, he's not a special teams guy.
I mean, it's always worth it to have depth if he's not asking for a huge payday. You know, if we can bring him back for a few, like $3 million, $4 million, or something like that, sure.
I would say, yeah, veteran minimum. Well, he was playing last year, right? I guess I forgot. Was he with the Rams? Well, who was he with last year?
Wasn't the Chargers?
Last I heard was
The
the
Chargers.
Chargers.
Oh,
Last
the
I
Chargers
remember.
were on
Oh
the
no,
other
the Saints. He was with the Saints last.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
I think I love Chris Harris Jr., obviously Bronco legend, but I think I think in my mind I've already like considered him retired for a minute. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
What I meant by is it worth it? Isn't the player, of course, Chris Harris, great locker room guy. Been there, done that, Super Bowl, all that kind of stuff. Can we afford the roster spot?
Oh.
I mean, because if we bring him in, would you want him to be your starting
nickelback, right?
I guess
right,
your nickelback.
Because
it'd be what's his face we got from the 49ers.
K. Williams,
Yeah.
Kayvon. I like Kayvon. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Kayvon.
He's a stud.
Darby's still playing with us, right?
Yeah.
And if you're Pat Surtain, and then
so if you're backing up one of those three guys, you got to play special teams.
You're right.
That's kind of my point. Like, do we have the roster spot?
Right.
If we have the roster spot, absolutely done deal. But I'd rather sign Dalton Reisner with that roster spot.
If it was between those two, give me Dalton all day long. Yeah, absolutely.
You'd have to understand he's a swing guy. You know, he's a six man.
Platoon, yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I would prefer Chris Harris being like a secondary assistant coach, or like being Christian Parker's like assistant or something.
Coach player.
Yeah. Oh, see, that'd be cool too. Yeah. I love it.
Jackie Moon out there, baby.
Yeah, just take off those.
I got a Jackie Moon jersey. Should I go get it?
Oh, I love it. I love it.
We brought this up earlier, bringing up trade scenarios. Benjamin Albright just throwing bombs, saying that the Broncos are interested in trading for Stephon Diggs if he becomes available. He believes it would take Cortland Sutton and a third-round draft pick to get that
done deal.
Yeah.
Would you guys take that?
Love you, Court. I'll drive you to the airport. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Exactly. Without even a thought in my mind, that's a done deal. A third in Cortland Sutton for a top. I mean, you can argue where he's at, but 100% a top 7 receiver in this league. Top 10, hands down.
And it hurts. It hurts to say because Court is Cortland, but he more represents a question mark than we know definitively where he sits right now.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I'd do it with a second round pick if we had it.
Right,
to be really honest with you.
To have him on our team right now, that'd be crazy. I couldn't.
That automatically brings our offense just to a different level.
Yeah. And if Jerry Jeudy can finally get his act together.
The potential of the offense to a different level.
And I already think we have more than enough pieces to get the ball around to. Right now it's just about like putting everything together scheme-wise and fluid and stuff like that. But we got the receiver room, we got the tight ends, got the running backs,
Diggs would be perfect, man.
Yeah. I agree. I mean,
you got Tim Patrick out there. You got your big body, 50-50 ball. Great route runner, too. He's not just a 50-50 ball. But Jerry Jeudy, great route runner. You could throw him outside, inside, wherever you want. Same with Diggs.
Yeah.
I mean, Diggs is what Jerry Jeudy aspires to be right now in the league.
Yeah, all big time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. KJ, Marquez, Quez, got a Lil Jordan. All of them still on the roster, man.
Lil Jordan.
Kendall. But yeah, I can't imagine. We got to stay on top of that because it looks like Stephon wants out of Buffalo no matter what, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's been seeming that way since late November.
Right.
Honestly, it was before the season was even over, and then it just got amplified from there.
Interesting.
I've been kind of calling it even longer than that. It's been feeling since last off season. I've kind of had this hunch. A little bit of a backstory there. I lived in Buffalo for 10 years.
Okay.
Got a lot of friends that are Buffalo Bills fans, and just the way that I see them and how they feel about everything going on. I mean, it dates back, like I said, to last offseason with this kind of turmoil and animosity. He was even kind of in the press last offseason too about wanting more to say about the offense and this, that, and the other.
Even I vaguely remember like holdout rumors or whatever like that. But for him to come to Denver, the thing is too is I think Denver has a reputation for being kind of like a sanctuary place. Like no matter who you are as a player, once you become a Bronco, you fall in love with the team, you fall in love with the city, all of that. So
this fan base just require I feel like this fan base. Now we don't get the national notoriety like the Bills fan base does, and all this, that, all these other teams, but these players, I do think, fall in love with our fan base, and it makes them want to be better in a way.
Yeah, we're very passionate, but we're also very critical.
Right.
But that's just because we've been really spoiled as a fan base, with the history that the Broncos have had. Tied. What do we tie with the Patriots with the most Super Bowl appearances of all time? Granted, we lost 5 of them, but and they weren't just losses; they were complete blowouts.
We weren't alive. It's fine.
Exactly. We don't need to look into that part of the stat, okay?
Don't Google.
We freaking lose.
Bad.
We do it the right way.
We set records, bro. Set records for losing.
When we lose, we make sure we lost.
Exactly.
You know exactly how that game went.
I know, and maybe that's why the victories are so much more sweet.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, there's definitely still a lot of things to look forward to in the season. Landing someone like Stephon Diggs would be shaking the national media kind of thing. Russ, Stephon Diggs, Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick. Why can't I think of our tight end's name? Albert O.
Dulcich.
Yeah.
Dulcich.
Yeah.
Dude, that is my man crush, man.
Yeah.
Do not disrespect Gregory like that.
Best hair on the team.
I love him. I mean, I'm sure Tom Payton will put him in the right position to make those.
Best hair in the league.
Yes.
Best hair in the league. Let's go.
You give me on those
currently
here soon. Watch. This offense, it's just like looking at last year. It has so much potential to be so deadly. We just, like you said, Kenneth, the scheme wasn't there. We need to put the right scheme in, and who better of a man to do that than Sean Payton, and Russell Wilson and Sean Payton get on the same page and develop the schemes and making sure that, hey, Russ, this is your job. Put the ball in this place and, get those 30-yard passes that you're so good at, that you are known for in the NFL for the long ball. Get that back going. He lost.
You guys remember the rollout to the left where he just hit, was it Jeudy on a dime at like the 40-yard line or the 4-yard line?
Was that against the Chargers? Was that the Chargers?
Yeah. I've watched that replay probably like 50 times in the last week.
Yeah.
That has to give you some type of hope that he can still be Russell Wilson, right?
Yeah.
Hackett was trying to fit a square peg into a round hole.
Yeah, big time.
Round peg, square hole, whatever you want.
A Hackett-sized peg, yeah, whatever. Yeah, it was rough. I love friggin' piling on Coach Hackett. He was historically bad, and we had to experience it. So, might as well talk our stuff,
The last podcast we did last season, we absolutely buried Hackett. Yeah. There was only it was early in the season. I don't remember what week it was, but it was early.
Yes.
Dance on his grave right now.
Yeah.
Right. I can't believe the Jets. What are the Jets doing signing him? Or
they canceled their last training camp too, or OTA or whatever it was.
Oh, for real? Oh my god.
Just had Hackett's name written all over it.
Honestly, the guy's crazy. He's a doofus.
Alrighty, gents. Well, it's getting to be a little late. Some people have to work tomorrow. I understand, but thank you all for coming on here. Really appreciate it. Kenneth, thanks for joining us. It's great. Love having you on here, man. Hope you can come more, hang out with us, talk more Broncos. Hopefully we're leaning more to your prediction versus my prediction.
I hope so.
That would be ideal. Going 7-3 the first 11 weeks of the year would be a blessing. That would be an absolute blessing.
Hey,
So,
man. I never
I'm
considered
all about
myself. Yeah, I never considered myself an optimist before you guys. So I guess I'm an optimistic Broncos fan.
Jeez,
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, if we went through the rest of the schedule, I'd probably be the most optimistic one on here.
Right. Yeah.
Just if we went through it right now, looking at this schedule.
Do you want a bold take of mine, real fast?
Let's go.
Let's hear it.
We sweep the Chargers.
Ooh.
See, that's exactly why I just said what I just said.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's 2 wins there. You got the Browns, you got the Texans, you got the Raiders again.
They just, if they're going to have a bad season, they're going to make you go through the ebb and flow roller coaster of emotions.
Right.
So
the division placement, the division games are kind of like perfect. I kind of think, Raiders to start and finish, Chiefs right away, and kind of the Chargers right away are like in the bubble, So yeah, I feel you guys.
Tell you right now, on June 20th, 2023, at 10:38 p.m. Mountain Time, the Lions might be the only loss in the next stretch of this.
Hey, I think the Lions are going to be actually pretty good.
Me too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Me too. All right, guys. Thank you guys for having me so much. This is like my first podcast or anything that I've ever been on. Yeah,
you did great, man.
I appreciate you guys so much.
Yeah.
As long as there's an invitation, you guys got me for sure.
There's an open invitation, man. You're always welcome.
Let's go.
So, thank you everyone for listening. Those are on YouTube and those are on TikTok. Thank you guys for listening to us, jab about the Broncos and go through our ebb and flows about the team. And, hopefully you came away with that. We're pretty realistic when it comes to the Broncos, and we try to take those orange and blue glasses off and really break down the team. And, we're always going to hope the best for them, but you best believe come Sunday morning, your team.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to be.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to be.
Bing bong.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's go.
But thank you all for listening. Thank you all. This is the Couch Potato Sports Denver Broncos podcast. Working through some kinks, trying to get the Nuggets one back up and running. Trying to get the Rockies one up and running. Good luck with that one. Trying to find a Rockies fan around here.
I'll gladly go on all of them, though. I got you. I'm a homer. I'll gladly give you takes on all of them.
I could do all but the Rockies. I don't want to put I enjoy myself. I respect myself.
Fair.
I'm not putting myself through a podcast of the Rockies.
No sadists here.
I feel like that might remain open for a little while.
Might get violent, yeah.
But the Avalanche one is ran by Trevor and Kelsey. Kelsey actually works with the Avalanche. She's wonderful, so he gives a lot of inside scoop on that. So be sure to check it out. Links in my bio on either TikTok, Instagram, any of those pages you'll be able to find on those podcasts.
As well as mine.
As well as Jimmy. So I appreciate you guys all for listening. Kenneth, Jimmy, it's always been an honor. I couldn't be more thankful to have you guys here with me talking about the Broncos. One of the best parts of the day, to be honest. It's great. And I can't wait for the season, guys.
Yeah, let's go.
It's going to be awesome. No, there it is. Go Nuggets.
Broncos are getting off that magic. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
All right, gents. You guys have a wonderful night, and always, go Broncos.
Go Broncos.